Okay, so let's move into module 3, and that's preparing your assets and your interview one sheet. So I'll let Casey come back in here.
Yeah, awesome. So one of the things, you guys, is people are asking us in the chat, like, all about VAs and how do we find VAs and all of that kind of jazz. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Reach out to Bajal or myself, and we've got a team that we work with. We've trained, we understand it. But Bajal or myself, we can dial all that in. Don't get focused on. Yeah, I'll just say that. Get in touch with us. We do this all day long, so we've got those folks. So I'm having a great time reading what you guys are doing in the chat. It's absolutely awesome, and I'm super excited that I'm going to get a chance to talk to some of you, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So here's the deal. So you're going to go out and you're going to try to find some podcasts. We're going to have a system and a process in place that allows us to do that, to get at that return on energy. My suggestion is do it once or twice to bumble your way through it, and then outsource it. But really keep in mind that an outsourcing part is you've got to be able to articulate what the process is, or work with someone like Bajal who already knows the process, right? I would never try to hire a VA and then just like have them do a process that I'm not familiar with, okay? So we need to have a set of assets that our virtual assistants or ourselves can go out and utilize to get us booked on shows. So here we go. There is a one-page document that gives a host usually all the information that they need. The host normally, in my experience, is going to make their initial decision based on two things: your one sheet and your social media. Now that's my experience, right? So if I'm in the mode of trying to get booked on shows, I'm going to stay away for a few weeks on social media on anything controversial, because I know that those show hosts are actually going and checking out what I'm writing on LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube, so on and so forth, okay? They're also going to check out your website. Now, for many, many years, I have played the role of, I don't care about a website. I used to have this joke that my website was made by the people that brought you Pong. And then what I realized was how many shows I was being rejected from because people were still going out and seeing the website. So we are literally within days of launching a brand new CaseyEberhart.com website, just from a credibility standpoint, because I've been not selected for shows based on website. Okay. So who is the one sheet about? This one sheet is really about someone in particular. Can you guys guess in the chat, who do you think the one sheet is going to be about? You, okay, so we've got me and you. I'm not sure who. So who's the one sheet that we're going to design? Who do we think that one sheet is being designed for? Me, myself. Okay, so Target, Dun & Bradstreet. I love it. I love it. Audience, hosts, audience. Yes, it's about all of them. It's about all of them. But at the end of the day, you guys, if we don't have the interviewer say yes, none of it matters. Okay? So what we want to be able to do is put a structure in place, and I literally broke down mine for you guys so you can just see it. It's got to have your business and your name of your business. Okay? Now, let me just take a quick side note here. I'm only going to say this once because I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I will scream about this for days and days and days and days and days and days and days on end. If you are building, for example, a network marketing company and an opportunity, please do not brand the name of your company that you are representing on a podcast. Stuff changes. And if you're building one company and you change, or it goes away, or it gets absorbed into another company, that podcast now becomes absolutely worthless for you at some point in the future. So I want you to keep the focus on what you do and what problem you solve, so that even if the name of the company or the job that you're in or the corporate entity that you're working with, you change jobs, that can be updated and you're not losing. In the media world, we call that a little bit of evergreen. And evergreen just means that it can be used at any point, and there's nothing that signifies that it can't be used. For example, if I said in a podcast, hey, today's Wednesday, June 7, 1977. I've just told the audience member how far long ago that that was. Okay, so you got to know who your audience is. I don't use the word target very often, but who your ideal audience member is, right? You want to give a short bio and a short history on what you do, plus your main service or products, and especially your contact details. You guys, true story, the first one sheet I sent out, no joke, I had a misspelled typo on my phone number, and it was the only place somebody could get a hold of me. I had my phone number there. I forgot my email because I did it myself because I was an amateur. Did it myself. Didn't even have somebody look at it. And then ultimately, you know what happened? Zero. Bubkiss. And I blamed it all on everybody else didn't understand how awesome I was. At the end of the day, they did. They just couldn't find me, right? So this is the example of my one sheet that's being reconnoitered and redone. But look, we broke it down here. You got a picture of me on there, right? A little bit about me, some questions that the interviewer can ask me that can help spark a conversation. Call to action. We call this CTA. It stands for call to action. So I'm telling the podcaster, hey, when we talk, I'm going to have a call to action of sending people, in this case, to cashflowwithcasey.com, right? That cashflowtocasey.com, I promise you the podcaster is going to go look at that page and determine whether or not it's professional enough to have me on the show. If it's craptastic, they're not going to. So Jennifer asked, can we assume a podcaster knows what CTA stands for? I would say yes, if they have done more than a few shows, but we probably could actually write call to action out there for them. For sure, that's probably a good point. An intro bio, a little bit more bio if they want to print, and then my contact information at the bottom. Now, one of the things that we have since added even from this is we do a bio, but we literally say on the sheet, not to be read. And the reason is, for me personally, I hate it when people try to read a bio that they don't even know. Also, just as one little side note in here, and this might get later in your process, but if you have a name that's difficult for somebody to pronounce, you want to really make sure that people understand how to say your name. I don't care how it's spelled, right? So with Maria, right? Maria's last name is No. You'll notice that even on this, she put Maria, no, and then in quotation marks, no, so I know how to say her name. There's nothing worse than me doing something and I'm interviewing someone and I go, so Maria Nago, Najio, Najo, Nujo, Naga, right? There's so many different ways to say that. You want to make sure that it makes it easy for somebody to say your name, okay? Should we use our go by names or full names? I would use your whatever you are known for in that space, okay? Now, in your email that you're going to put together, in your pitch email, okay, you're going to want to have what information can I teach that person's audience? What interesting story would their audience benefit from listening to? So I try to do a pre-interview when I can. And what I try to do is I try to make a connection point, and I'll give the podcaster 3 or 4 ideas of stories and let them pick which one I say. And I'm very quick about it so that they can pick and I can dial in, right? Some people want to talk about me working in the movie business. Some people want to talk about the film business. Some people want to talk about a network marketing opportunity. Some people want to hone in on real estate. Some people want to, so I can quickly fire those touch points off and let them pick, right? What piece of new knowledge can I give with the audience? And once we're clear on that, then we move to the generic pitch email. Again, your pitch or the email that you're going to send out. And by the way, you guys, this is a cut and paste email. This is not like spend 18 hours trying to come up with a completely personalized email. You can do this pretty clear in one email. And I've got it. I think the next slide or a couple of slides out, I'm going to show you exactly just a generic pitch email that you can send out. But your pitch needs to show, look, that you're likable. Nobody wants to have on a, hi, my name's Bob. You should have me on your podcast because I'm awesome, right? And I'm awesome. And, I'm wearing this really cool sea turtle shirt. So you got to be likable, right? You want to show them that you're known. Give them a little bit of a heads up of what you've done in your past, that you've written a book, that you've spoke on some stages, that you've been on other podcasts. Thanks, Jen. Right? Show that you're trusted, that you're valuable, and give them a clear next step in the email directly. Okay? So if I go to the next slide, you want to be able to Clint is on here. Clint's a great podcaster. I've had a good fortune of being on his podcast before. He's one of the best interviewers that I've had the unbelievable opportunity to be interviewed by. Clint is awesome. Clint, good to see you on here, my friend. So you want to be able to connect with them. You want to be able to highlight your familiarity with their show. It's so funny. I just did that. I really wasn't even thinking it. But I'm very familiar with Clint's show. Demonstrate how you can offer value to their audience. Offer them a variety of topics, maybe 2 or 3 different touch points, because you want that interviewer to read your pitch and go, oh, you know what? I don't get cryptocurrency. It's one of those hooey things. It's too blah, 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 blah. I don't understand it. Don't talk about that. But he talks about how he moves entrepreneurs into results-based thinking and results-based action. Then they can grab a hold of that. Okay. And then present them with a call to action for them to follow. Okay. So here's an example of a quick pitch email. Hey, first name, customization paragraph, right? So you might want to make it a tiny bit, have your virtual assistant go pull a couple of things off of their LinkedIn profile, or if they're social media, or if they do a podcast, so that you show that you're actually not just doing 100% cut and paste, but that you are personalizing a little bit of it, and then moving forward. I teach people benefit-focused outcomes. I'd love to teach your audience about any of the following topics. Topic 1, topic 2, topic 3. Does this sound like it would be a good fit for your audience? Now I'm making it about them, right? As a next step, let me know which topic your audience would be most interested in hearing about. After that, we can work out all the scheduling details. You'll notice that in this case, I am making it really about the person and about the person's audience. I have not said, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. I'm awesome, buy my book, right? Okay. So here's the deal. We've got to come up with this call to action. Okay. So you want to now I want you guys to think about this. Here's how I try to do this when I'm working with a new podcast. I imagine the person listening to the interview is on a hiking trail. Okay. Interview like somebody's on a treadmill at a gym, or an interview. So nobody I know of sits and listens to a podcast with their laptop open, with their fingers out, their credit card is out, waiting to buy your stuff right there online the first time they hear it. Very, very, like I've never had it happen, right? So you want to give a call to action that people can listen to and remember later. That's why everything we try to do are short domain names, and we send them to a very specific thing. So you might give them a report. You might invite them to a webinar that you're going to teach on another course. That's what we did with you guys. We said, hey, we're going to do this great invitation. We'd love to have you come aboard and listen to what we have to say about getting interviewed. That was our call to action, right? You can give an overview. You can give a digital copy of your book, or maybe a few chapters of your book, or an overview of your skeletal plan. Okay. Or maybe you're going to give a sample out, or a strategy session. You guys saw this in action. The very first slide Bijal made for me was, by the way, I can't make these slides. I got to give a huge shout out to Bijal. He spent hours and hours and hours putting together these slides. Master slide maker. I wouldn't even know which way to go. So again, remember I say you got to have partners like Bijal, because that's what you got to have. That's what you got to have. I don't know anything else. So shout out to the B Meister General, right? But we said, hey, if you want to get in touch with me, go to discoverycallwithcasey.com. That was me throwing out a call to action for a free strategy session. Maybe you're going to give away event tickets that are for an upcoming event. Just make sure if you're doing event tickets that you realize that, remember that an event, if you do an event, but the podcast doesn't come out for weeks or months, you might miss the event. So I would never, if I was, in the Polka Dots, for example, they're a networking organization. If I was in Polka Dots and I have an upcoming event, I probably wouldn't give away event tickets, because once that event happens, then that becomes irrelevant later on. a blueprint or a guide or a strategy, an info sheet. Maybe you're going to give people a quiz or a survey. Maybe you're going to have them do a 5-day challenge. Bijal and I are actually putting together several 5-day challenges that we're going to do right back to 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 back. Okay. So somebody in the chat asked what an opt-in report is. It's just a report that they come give you their name and email address for in exchange for a report. The top 10 ways to increase your credit score, the top 10 ways to lose weight by eating bacon, the top 10 ways to potty train your baby without hardly even seeing it, you know, whatever. Okay. Now, I don't know where I went with that one. Sorry, sorry, Bijal. Right?
I'm shaking my head. I'm shaking my head.
I know, right? So then you want to be able to have kind of your back end stuff done. So if you've got a landing page, now you've got to have it where it can be an easy to remember thing, right? So we sent you guys to, you were sent to one of 2 pages in order to join us on here. Okay. And we did that for a very specific reason. We wanted to see where people were coming from. You either came in through expandworkshops.com or interviewroi.com. Same thing, is just for us tracking where people came in from. We have a series of emails set up that go out to indoctrinate that person into your space. So you start to build and develop that relationship. Autoresponder just means a multiple or a series of emails that go deeper into what somebody opted into receive. So if I said, hey, get 10 ways to eat bacon and lose weight, each next email might be one bacon recipe on how to lose weight. Okay. So headshots, you got, this is huge. Now, I was always the one that was like, oh, I'll just take it on my iPhone. I'm a photographer. I'll just get but at the end of the day, your headshot is a visual representation of you. Okay. So you want to do a high resolution one, right? It is so important. If you were going to spend money and invest money in something, I would spend it on your headshot versus the business card. Frankly, that's me, right? You want to give the host 2 or 3 headshots to choose from. And, you know, you can put them in a media tab or in a Dropbox. The one on the bottom is one that I use quite frequently. It's not like most people's headshots. The one on the top is one where people want a white background because they want to post it in something. To me, it's a little bit of a weird angle. I have another one where I'm standing on a rail with my arms out. I've got another one where you saw on the one sheet where I was pointing up. I did ones where I'm pointing down. Those are all done professionally. Now, just as a side technical note, you want to make sure that whoever does your photography and your photographs gives you them in what's called a PNG file. And I know we're not, oh, Maria's putting it on here. PNG basically says this, that whoever is using it can remove the background on it and just have you show up here. So if the background of this slide was pink, it would not be a white box. It would be a pink background all the way around me on these slides in particular. Okay.